Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Ghost Recon Wildlands Ultimate Edition. The game is available on PC, PlayStation and Xbox. The Ultimate Edition includes the base game as well as the Fallen Ghosts and Narco Road DLCs. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands is a military tactical shooter developed by Ubisoft Paris. You play as a ghost in a squad of 4 as you attempt to destabilise the drug cartel that has taken over Bolivia. Wildlands features several game modes. You've got a main campaign which is enormous, Ghost mode which is a version of that campaign with permadeath, you've got a Horde mode called Guerrilla, Ghost War is PvP, and there's also a Mercenaries mode which is a bit like an extraction shooter. Anyway, what's the game actually like to play? Well, first things first, you've got to create your own character. It's not the most comprehensive system, but you can choose face type, hairstyle, face paint, scars, clothing, etc. After this, you and your squad are dropped into a huge map that recreates Bolivia on a scale that is not only epic but also really well implemented. Your squad is tasked with picking apart the cartel one boss at a time, with your ultimate target being El Sueño, who is the cartel's big cheese. As I said, the game is set in a fictional version of Bolivia, and the world is about as big as I've ever seen in a video game. I'd also say the way the map has been handcrafted makes the landscape feel realistic, lived in, and like you're exploring a real country. There are several regions to explore, with each one having its own unique visual style, but also its own set of cartel goons that you've got to track down, capture, or eliminate. They've struck the right balance between small villages, towns, and recreating that kind of infamous death road they have in Bolivia, the salt flats, and many other interesting places. Now, in terms of the core gameplay, it's a tactical shooter at heart. Running in guns blazing will only get you so far, and the game requires a more measured approach. You'll need to use your drone to scout the area, you'll need to ID targets, and work together with your team to take out these enemies at the same time. The weapon variety is incredible, and anyone with an interest in the military or firearms will be in heaven. Each weapon felt and sounded different, with all manner of unique customizable parts to suit your needs. You can even collect unique guns from enemies that are not only cool trophies, but they are also very effective if you find some of the better varieties. As I said, you can customize the weapons with new scopes, barrel attachments, grips, etc. And the more missions you complete, the closer you'll be getting to the bigger targets, but also the more points that you'll be able to spend on leveling up. As you do these missions, you collect intel, you get medals, you'll be able to use the prestige you gain to upgrade your armor, upgrade your teammates, get new gadgets to use. There's lots of things that can be different depending on what style you want to go down. However, I would say leveling up does require multiple forms of currency on occasions, which is a bit unnecessary, and it just adds an additional grind to the game that it didn't really need. One thing the game doesn't lack is content. The map is massive and it's full of secret items to collect, enemy camps, and you'll always be finding new locations to raid with your squad. And this might be the best part of the game. You find the base and you just strategically work out how to take it down. You can shoot out the lights and enter under the cover of darkness. You can send in an EMP drone to knock out the radio communications, or just call in rebel support and airstrike the base before you breach. Whether you choose stealth or all action, either method is remarkably satisfying, and to be honest, there really isn't any other game on the market that deals with tactical combat in such an epic and in-depth way.
I see a second target. I got a third. Ready? Open fire.
Roger that. Fuck, engaging. Looks like they're feeling froggy.
You can play the game with 3 other players, or you can go in with 3 AI buddies, and the AI buddies, they're okay, they've got limitations, but they do the job. The best uses for the AI buddies is synchronizing sniper shots, or when you go down, they will revive you. Aside from combat, you'll be doing a lot of exploring in Wildlands, whether that be on foot, in a car, or even in a chopper. Intelligence is the name of the game. The more intel you get, the more targets you'll have available, but thankfully you can take on the targets in whatever order you please. But bear in mind that the map is graded in terms of enemy skill, so if you go into a hot zone when you're not prepared, it's probably not going to work out. But it's definitely not a linear game. You get to choose how you take things on in terms of the order, but also how you edit your loadout and how you approach the problems. And for me, that's one of the best parts of Wildlands, the creative freedom the devs gave us to solve the problems in our own way. Now the cartels, they've got several departments that you need to take down, from smuggling, production, etc. Each department has underbosses and a main boss, and you have to work your way through them in order to find out where you can take down the head of that operation. So the cartel and their hired guns, they're the main threat, but there's also Unidad. These are like corrupt Bolivian special police, but you've also got the rebels. The rebels over time will become your allies, and they will offer you vehicles, backup troops, mortar strikes, and they are game changers, and they really help when you're in a tight spot. As you enter the latter stages of the game, you'll have a chance to enter a thing called tier mode. This is basically something that offers special rewards, but at the price of the difficulty being increased over the levels. It's a nice touch for veteran gamers who really find the core missions maybe too easy. You can kind of tailor the experience to suit your skill level, and it gives you a different experience. So the game, it's massive as I said, but there is bonus content in there as well that's all free integrated. There's Ubisoft themed missions that tie in Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six. There's a really cool Predator themed mission as well, but it's no picnic, let me tell you. The 2 DLCs, they're part of this package. Fallen Ghosts, Narco Road. Fallen Ghosts takes place after the main campaign. A group of special forces fighters have taken over a region of Bolivia. You and your squad have got to go in behind enemy lines and take back that region, but it's not that simple. These guerrillas have got special weaponry, high-tech camo, new tactics, and it really does make you learn and adapt quickly. It's a big challenge, but it's one of the best DLCs I've played in recent years. There's lots of missions that really stick with you. It's very intense. The other DLC is called Narco Road. That's solo. You don't have a team with you. You've got to infiltrate the cartel via the exotic cars side of their business. It is a bit dumb and also almost impossible to play on the hardest difficulty because you've got no way of being revived. There's lots of driving, there's lots of jumps in cars, there's painting cars, there's Fast and Furious fan vibes. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's not too bad. But Fallen Ghost is by far the best DLC in my opinion. Graphically, solid, I'd say. Good animation, nice environments, lots of detail. And this was also, to note, one of the first game worlds that didn't feature pop-up in the distance. If you can see it, you can go there. The game does feature a photo mode as well. If you want to see a guide for that, I'll put a link in the comments and the description. It's minimal, but if you want to take some shots of you and your squad, it does a good job. Sound wise, I'd say music is good. There's a lot of Latin themed stuff on the radio, but the scoring is better than the music on the radio without doubt. The gun effects are incredible, really gritty, really punchy, and also depending on where you are, they sound different, so it adds a sense of immersion as well. Anyway, verdict. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands is an epic tactical shooter that offers an incredible amount of depth, variety, and challenge from top to bottom. The game lets you approach dismantling the cartel in your own way, whether that be how you level up, what weapons you use, how you customize them, or how you approach the huge array of missions. It is a fantastic military shooter with real tactical depth, and frankly, there isn't anything else out there like it before or since. This edition is great value for money too, with the base game having an immense amount to do. Add to that the DLCs, and you're going to have plenty to do for several months. For me personally, playing this game with friends is without doubt my favourite thing to do, one of my favourite games, because it's such a big open world, so many missions, so many ways of approaching problems, and when there's you and your buddies there, it's great, work together on the comms, work out a strategy, execute, and when you've executed a game plan, it's beautiful, it's a beautiful game. I've played it for about 200 hours plus to date. I'm not bored of it. It's very replayable, and yeah, it's one of the last great Ubisoft games. It isn't perfect, there's a few things that are annoying and it's a bit bloated, but I think this is absolutely terrific stuff. That being said, scoring Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands Ultimate Edition, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Great game. That's the review. Thanks for watching. This is PG, signing off. Cheers.